Hey guys, Keith again. Today we're going to be looking at the fallkniven tk3. We're going to do a little comparison against some other EDC knives that are pretty common, a lot of people are familiar with. Just to give you an overall view of size and weight. My previous fallkniven tk3 video is getting the most views out of everything I've put up, so I'm going to take that as a sign that you want to see more about this knife. If that's not the case, leave me a comment, let me know what you do want to see. Alright, so to recap, the fallkniven tk3 is a G3 powdered steel. It's got a laminated core. It's a super steel. Rockwell hardness of 62. The blade length is 2.75 inches. Overall length is 6.5 inches. And comes in at 3.5 ounces for the weight. Hold it up to a $10 bill here. You can see it's slightly longer. I bought this knife at Knives Ship Free for right around $185. Fantastic service from those guys. I ordered it on a Friday afternoon and had it in my mailbox on Monday. It was awesome. Alright, so we'll move this out of the way and run the tape measure just to kind of give us a comparison. First knife we're going to look at is a smaller Swiss Army knife, the Victorinox Rambler. This knife will run you $17.50. It is a stainless steel with a Rockwell hardness of about 56. Blade length of 1.5 inches, overall length of 3 7/8 and 1.25 ounces. Not really much of a comparison against the knife from fallkniven. The tk3 is a lot bigger, a lot heavier. It's not really the same class of EDC, but a lot of people carry a small sack on their keychain. Just to give you an idea. The next knife we're going to look at is probably one of everyone's favorites, the Benchmade Mini Grip Tilian. This one's the 556 model. 154 cm steel, Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60, so it's going to be slightly less hard but easier to sharpen. Blade length is a little bit longer, 2.91 inches. Overall length, again, just a hair longer, 6.78 inches. It comes in almost a full ounce less than the tk3 at 2.56 inches, and for the price of the tk3 you could easily buy two of the Benchmades. They run $80.75 at knifecenter.com. The third knife we're going to look at is the Spyderco Native. This particular model is seen in CPM S30V steel, Rockwell hardness of 58 to 59. Again, slightly softer, a little easier to sharpen. S30V is a really good steel though. The blade length is a little longer, 3 inches and 1/8. Overall length, 1/2 inch longer at 7 inches. The website where I did my research for this knife says it weighs 4.6 ounces. I don't quite believe that. It doesn't feel that heavy. But for the price, $62.44 at New Gram, you could easily buy 3 of them for the price of the tk3 and have a great knife. The fourth knife we're going to look at is a Wenger Soldier with the aluminum scales. This knife has a generic stainless steel, Rockwell hardness of about 56. Blade length of 2 3/4 inches, so the blade length is the same. Overall length about the same at 6.5 inches, and weighing 1.1 ounces less, 2.4 ounces. You could buy a bunch of them for the price of the tk3. You're not going to get the same knife, but for EDC use, it's something to consider. You can pick this up for $29.95 most anywhere. I got it at Dunham Sports. The next knife up is a crowd favorite, the Spyderco Delica 4 in ZDP 189. The Rockwell hardness on this knife is 64 to 65, so it's going to be harder and harder to sharpen than the tk3. Blade length is a little bit longer, 2.88 inches compared to the tk3's 2.75 inches. Overall length is, again, a little bit longer, 7 inches and 1/8, and it weighs an ounce less. And finally, the last knife we're going to take a peek at is the Boker Sub Comm. This is a much smaller knife, but again, EDC community favorite. It's got an AUS-8 blade with a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58, so again, softer, easier to sharpen. It won't hold its edges long, but it will do a good job. The blade is 1.88 inches, so we're looking at almost 3/4 the cutting area. Overall length overall length is 4.5 inches, and it weighs 2.5 ounces. Again, this is a $30 knife. You could buy, 6 of them before you reach the price of the TK3. Alright, so that's it for comparing the TK3 against other knives. And since this is sort of a knife review, let's cut some paper. It cuts through the paper like nothing's there. Let's see if we can get a real tiny shaving. Cutlery Lover would tell you that's his test for scary sharp. I'm at a weird angle here. I could probably do a little better. As you can see, the blade slices through the paper like there's nothing there. Okay guys, so that's a closer look at the TK3. Hope you found this a little entertaining. If not, or if you did, let me know. Leave me a comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. Alright, have a good night.